Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Real Talk. And I just wanted to encourage somebody. I'm always trying to encourage you. But I just want to tell you, look, I know, and I can't say that we all know each other's pain because we don't know the amount of pain that each other is going through. And I understand that because at one time I had so much pain that I would hide it through drinking, and I would almost drink myself to blackout. I'm learning that I blacked out when I was drinking. I'm learning about some of the stuff that I said, some of the stuff that I did, and it's like, wow, that was not me. You know what I mean? So I've been like talking to God, you know what I mean? Because when stuff hits home a lot, when stuff is close to you or hits home, you ask God, why me? But I need you to stop saying why me and say why not you. You know what I mean? Like God is testing our character and our experience so we can help our brothers and our sisters, right? And I was like, God, this is a lot. I was telling him, I'm like, it's a lot. Like, this rebellion spirit that is going on, it's a lot. And you would think because, we're in church, but you could be in church and not have a relationship with God. And it's like, we want to ask the question when people are on their deathbed, well, are you saved or do you know God? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people, right? And I'm learning that is just going through the motions and they're just trying to make it. They're just trying to make it. And I remember those stages in my life where I was just trying to survive. And I would ask God, I would be like, God, I'm tired. I'm tired of surviving because I was always in survivor's mode. I only live for today. And, I already know tomorrow isn't promised. But I would never set up a home because I thought that it wouldn't be there tomorrow. That was my mindset going through life. And I remember the one day when I was just like, God, I'm tired. I'm tired of surviving. Like when you're surviving, it takes a lot out of you. And I don't know if anyone knows that, but it takes a lot out of you. Seriously, it does. So I was like, God, I'm tired of surviving. I had a home, but I had a house, but I didn't make it a home because I was like, I ain't going to be here too long. Every time I set up somewhere, I was like, I ain't going to be here too long. And it's like, why do I think like that? And I had to get to the bottom of why do Shantae think the way she think? What is the problem? You know what I mean? Because at one point, you want to keep covering your problem. But the more I express this, it's like you learn that your relationship with God is really levels to this relationship. Even in your personal relationships, it is levels to the personal relationships. We think things are supposed to just happen like that. And I'm that type of person. I'm like, why, like, you see this? Why isn't it happening like this over here? And God has to really build me up. He's building me internally. Because outside we could dress it, we could be whoever we wanted to be on the outside. But you could dress that stuff on the outside, but you cannot dress it up in the inside. You can't run away from yourself. You can run away from your appearance or how you're supposed to be, but you can't run away from who you are in the internal realm. I express this so much because there was times where I couldn't even sleep with myself, and I couldn't even like sleep because my mind was like everywhere. Sorry. My mind was everywhere. So I'm telling you, as you build your relationship with God, right? Don't do it because that's what you see everybody else doing. Ask God to really show you who you are and tell him you want to be in commune with him. You want to walk with him. If that's not what you want, don't do it because somebody is telling you to do it, because you won't understand the relationship. But I'm telling you, as soon as I start working on my relationship, like with God, my true relationship with God, it was not until then that I was able to work on my relationship with other people. And I know I'm learning this thing called patience, because I don't have patience. I really don't. I thought I had a lot of patience. In my mind, I had all these qualities, and I'm learning that's what I wanted. I never matured into it. Just like I've learned over the years, I'm a mother, but I never really fully matured into being a mother. Like, we do things and all this stuff, and you do it because you have to do it. But when you get to the point where you do it because you want to do it and because you love to do it, is maturing into who God is calling you to be. Sometimes we do things because we have to do it. But I'm at this point in my life, I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do, because if you're doing it to impress people, you're not impressing God, because you're not doing it with the right heart. So if my heart isn't right, then I have to question why it isn't right about it. Why am I doing this, and why am I even here in this situation? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's a tug of war between your heart and your spirit and, all the things that you got going on. But I just want to tell you, like, just whatever you do, if you don't take nothing out of this, this real talk from the heart, I want you to really just work on your relationship with God. Because this is the thing. It's like we go through all these things, and then we put God last when we realize that he was the answer and the key all along. When if you put him first, all the things that you've been going through, you wouldn't even have to go through it. So I'm telling you from my heart, work on your relationship with God and know where you're going, because life is really too short for your family members or your church family or anybody to question, like, are you a believer, or do you believe God died on the cross for your sins, or whatever the case may be? What is your relation? Check your relationship with God, please. I'm asking you, because a lot of the things that we go through, and it's not saying as believers we don't go through a lot. We go through a lot. But I think the only thing that really gets us through is the relationship that we have with God, with Christ, him just, comforting us, and just knowing that his word never fails us. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I was this person going through some of the stuff that other people, like going through what I had to go through in my life, and I'm not downplaying nobody else's thing, or I'm not downplaying my own stuff, but it's just like, if I had to be this person going through this struggle without God, I think I would have already lost my mind a long time ago. I would have already put it on the shelf. I would have already just said, bunk everything. But I know that what I'm going through is bigger than me. You know what I mean? It's bigger than me. It's bigger than who I am. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like if I was to not believe in God, and if I was to give up, I'm not just giving up on myself. I'm giving up on my children. I'm giving up on my grandkids. I'm giving up on the other generation to come. I'm giving up on life itself. So it's like, sometimes we feel like we want to give up, but God gives you that hope for tomorrow. He gives you that joy. He gives you that peace, that understanding. He gives you that long suffering. Like, he gives you all of those things that these people don't tell you about. It's the experience of God that allows you to go through these pains. I know we want to numb it with pills, and I know we want to numb it with alcohol, and I know we want to numb it with, so many things, but God is all you need. I'm telling you from my experience. I'm like, I went through all of that to get to here, and all I needed was God. All I needed was him alone. You know what I mean? And I wanted to lose it. And I went back and forth with my internal man. saying, but how, God, how you going to help me through this? Or how you going to do this? And he said, trust me. Trust me. If I did it before, I could do it again. But sometimes we don't want to trust God because he's invisible. But he's everywhere. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere. Once you get in a relationship with God, you will learn your value and you will learn his. Because he's in you. He's everywhere you go. He's everywhere. Everywhere. What God do you know that can be everywhere you go? Everywhere. Seriously. And I keep asking myself this. If God be for me, who can be against me? Seriously, if God's before me, who can be against me? Because God is everything. He's everything. And I understand why the enemy wants to keep fighting you. Because the more he keeps fighting you, that's how you know you're getting closer and closer to your destiny. That's how you know you're valued. It may seem like you're not valued, but you are valued. I'm telling you. Because the enemy is not going to fight somebody that's not valued. He's not. And it's like, if you're on the same side as him, then he don't have to fight you. You don't got nothing worth losing. You don't have anything that's valued. He wants to get you where he is because he can never be in God's presence again. So if he can take you from God's presence, then he did his job. But the one thing I love about God, he said, if you make your bed in hell, I will be right there with you. But I don't want to make my bed in hell. I don't want to make my bed in hell. Especially if that's not where I have to go. Sometimes we think when we give up hope that that's all there is hell. You know what I mean? But it's like this experience, this experience is real. And its mental illness is real. Like, people need help. And I was explaining, I'm like, we can have all the resources in the world. But if people don't use them, then they're just there. Like mental health, mental illness, using drugs is a sickness. You're covering pain that you can never cover because God is everything that you need. And it's like, if somebody was telling me this when I was going through it, and I'm sarcastic, and I was rebellious, so I would have been like, well, where is he at now? You know what I mean? He's here. He's just waiting on you. He's waiting on you to realize that he's here. That's what I had to realize. He was waiting on me this whole time to be like, are you done yet? I've been waiting for you. And I've learned that we try to do all the things in the world and get all the things in the world, and God already set everything aside just for you. But how can he give it to us if we don't know how to treat it or manage it? So I'm telling you, man, I need you, man. I need you to live. I need you to survive. I need you to walk in your purpose. I need you to walk in your assignment. I need you to live. I really do. I need you to live. Because the only way that you're going to live is you're going to live in God. Eternally in God. And that's what the enemy don't want you to know. He wants to tell you that you're nothing. He wants to tell you that there's no hope for you, that no one loves you. And he wants to tell you all these things, that your people are against you. But God is love. God, that's all you need. If you don't have your mom, if you don't have your dad, if you don't have, anybody, you got God. He's the only one that's going to show you the roadmap to your life. And yes, he gives us choices. He gives us choices. And I wish that he didn't, but he did, because you got to be strong enough to make the right decision. You got to make the right choices in life. We got to know who God is in the midst of chaos, because that's what people don't tell you, that it's all peaches and cream. It's not. This walk with God is never going to be peaches and cream, because the enemy is real. He always going to try to tempt you, and he wants to destroy your legacy. And I had to look at it like that. Like, he wants us to die. He don't want us to exist. So he's going to do everything in his powers to allow our choices to be influenced by the world. But God said you live in the world, but you don't live of the world. You know what I mean? Because in God, you can have fun. You can have fun. But the thing is, when what is your idea of fun? What is your idea of living, surviving? People cannot deal with the real world because they got so much things going on. But all you need to do is just take it 1 minute, 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day. Process today and then worry about tomorrow. That's all. That's all you can do in life. Things are going to happen. They're going to happen. Some things are out of our control. But that doesn't mean that there is not a God. That doesn't mean that God doesn't love us because things are going to happen. There's some things that just going to be out of our control. So I just want you to be saved. I just want you to live. You know what I mean? It's all right to have fun, but know who God is. Like, when you start to really, really, really build your relationship with God, you start to really, really want to change. Why wouldn't you want to change for God? You know what I mean? Like, when you start walking with God, you will start to change. You would know who you are by the fruit that you produce. Like, when you start walking with God, you want to change. You want to be nice. You want your heart to be different. You want to do a lot of things differently. And that's where those hard conversations with you and God come in at. It's not about, it's like accountability. We got to take accountability for our actions, our actions, and who we are and who we want to be in God, or who God wants us to be in him. Because we want to be all these things and do all these things. But again, I heard earlier, did we consult God about that? So this is real talk from the heart. I love you guys. I know God has really transitioned me to really care. Like, my heart, it goes out to a lot. I may not say a lot of things, but I'm learning how to pray in this season. Thank God for my spiritual mom. I'm learning how to pray. Like, pray. So, just be blessed. Love you. Bye.